Welcome back to Zaka Stokvel Insights, where we explore the world of stokvels and burial societies. Before the break, we touched on the potential risks of having low monthly contributions in a burial society with my resident guest expert, Thabiso Masurubele from Thai Vision Media. Now, let's look at the ways 2016 Ladies Club Burial Society can grow their membership further. Nomzane, now, can we just look at why should you choose to belong to a burial society as opposed to taking out funeral policies or funeral insurance with an insurance company?
Yeah, I think this goes back to the main purpose of why people join burial societies. I mean, we're all at liberty to join, to take out a funeral policy as individuals for yourself and your family and so on. But I think what burial society structure offers is the structure of community, in that you're not alone. And I think when you look at it within the context of South Africa, is that even though you as an individual have funeral cover, you're not going to run that funeral as an individual or as a family alone. The whole community participates in making sure that the funeral goes well. I mean, there's a lot of work to do. The nature of the funerals that we have within our communities necessitate that you require support and assistance from different family members, from community members, and so on. So the function of a funeral, remember, it's also a cultural thing. So in certain communities, you know, funerals are a family affair and they happen that way. But within the communities of burial societies, funerals are a community affair. So that's where community comes in, to say that you might have a decent funeral cover that pays out, but you'll sit with all of those resources and your funeral might not go the way you want it because there's no community involvement and participation. So for us, it's always important to remind even the big insurers that it's not just about the premium, and it's about community as well. So even if you do get your benefits, how do those benefits help within the context of a burial society, given that it's about community and helping hands? And a lot of burial societies refer to themselves as helping hands, where people have to peel vegetables as opposed to, even though people can afford to source catering and pay for it. But the whole idea of preparing the food as a community brings community together, which is where burial society started actually, where there was a need for resources and community got together where there was a particular family maybe which didn't have the resources to be able to provide a dignified funeral for a particular community member. And then the idea that let's club together to make sure that we have a dignified send-off for someone so that it's not particularly obvious that they're less privileged than the rest of us. And that's where it started. And I think that's why people join a burial society as opposed to just having individual funeral policies.
Now, Nkateko explains that members are currently giving 6.5 thousand rand and would like to increase the benefit to 12.5 thousand rand. So what are the challenges here with making those shifts?
I think the challenge is that they have not necessarily gone through a process of determining what a particular premium should be for a particular benefit. So for me, that would be the main challenge, is that they have come up with a figure, and which is a benefit, and they have come up with a premium. But those two things don't necessarily correlate and don't necessarily show the sustainability that they'd be able to provide. Because they then say it happens that they have to pay an additional 50 rand because their resources in the bank keep depleting, understandably so. So one of the challenges that the use, again, of a savings account for funeral insurance purposes. So for as long as they're using a savings account to honor funeral claims, they're going to consistently have that challenge. And at some point, they won't be contributing an additional 50 rand towards making sure that their funds don't deplete. They're going to have to cough out more. So one of the things that they should look at is making sure that they're paying a premium to an authorized FSP, which then guarantees that they'll be able to get the amount that they want. But the challenge for them is that that amount that they want as a benefit is going to determine what premium they pay. So that premium, in all likelihood, would be higher because there's an actuarial process that determines what the premium should be for a particular benefit. You know, you'll find that most burial societies, they have even people who are 85 plus years pay the same premium as someone who's 22. And we know mathematically it's not, you know, a viable thing. People who are generally younger pay a less premium because of their risk profile. So that whole process, they haven't gone through that whole process of assessing what the premium is based on individual risk profiles.
Now, what would be the strategy of having or having to sort of educate the members on the reasons on why they need to increase their monthly contributions? Because like you said, we join burial societies so that we are able to have a smoother process when it comes to funerals. But here now, it's no more 200 Rand monthly contributions. Now we're bumping it up. So how can they teach and motivate and retain their members?
I think the starting point would be the reason why they want to move from 6,500 Rand to 12,500 Rand. So the reasoning behind that would probably be because things are expensive. Things are moving up. You know, what you buy for 6,500 Rand is not the same and doesn't suffice in terms of what you're then giving to the bereaved family. So that's the starting point. To say that given that you are moving from 6,500 to 12,500, there is an increase. And I think people are wired in such a way that people accept that every year things, even though they might not necessarily understand the technical concept of inflation, but people understand that every year prices change, prices do go up, everything goes up. So that's the starting point. But it's also then to sit down with members to say the way we've been doing it and be transparent with members. To say the way that we're doing it, you will see on our bank statement, we used to have, as an example, we used to have 100,000 Rand. We've paid out 10 claims or 5 claims or whatever it is. We're now at 40,000 Rand. What this realistically means is that we'll only be able to pay 5 claims with the current deposit that we have in the bank. And so that's a huge risk for the group. And so to mitigate that risk, it then necessitates that we review the premium that we are paying. So one of the things they look at is to say, perhaps if people can't afford the premium that's associated with a 12,500 payout, you then look at a lesser benefit, which is not 12.
Now, let's just put a hold on that. We will get right back to it after the break. Please do stay with us.
Are you a member of a Stokvel or burial society? We at Thai Vision Media specialize in helping Stokvels and burial societies. Contact us for professional Stokvel and burial society administration, access to investments and funeral cover experts, and credible financial information. We will help your Stokvel and burial society to achieve your goals and grow. Contact us today.